Another day, another mystery. One of my favorite books is written by Edwin Abbott way back in the 19th century. It's called Flatland. Flatland describes a two-dimensional universe. Imagine a sheet of paper, here's a sheet of paper, and in the story, this flatland or two-dimensional plane is visited by a sphere. At first, when it's above it, it's invisible. As it descends and starts interacting or interfacing with the two-dimensional flatland, a point appears that turns into a line. The line elongates till its maximum dimensions, then starts shrinking, and then pop. The concept of a sphere, a multi-dimensional from a different dimension visiting a two-dimensional land, is brilliant. We need to learn from that story. Imagine an object appearing in our reality, but from another dimension. We would perceive it in our terms, as a dot, as a line that got shorter, and poof, it would disappear. Because we wouldn't understand that behind a veil there is an operator pushing this puppet or this object into our reality. It would break all our laws of physics. It would appear weird. If we ever saw one really close, would it actually be real? Would it be nuts and bolts? Or would it just be a projection? I love this as a concept. And I think the idea of UAP or visitors to our realm coming to us from another dimension and breaking temporarily through into the veil of our reality, and the way that we perceive it is on our terms of how we define our reality, could be a really interesting answer. And of course, if that is fully understood in a way that we lay people don't really understand it, could those powers of interdimensionality be harnessed, by an aerospace company actually to be something here on Earth controlled by Earthlings rather than controlled by a puppet master from behind the veil? Now, I'm not the only person to consider this. Jacques Vallée, the French ufologist and general scientist, has talked about puppets appearing and poking through our veil of reality for years. But today, the idea of how a multi-dimensional, unknown dimension being would appear in our realm is being explored by Dr. Garry Nolan. Listen to this, where he talks about the idea of UAP being puppets, not real, but interestingly, controlled from beyond the veil. So what we're seeing poking through is only what they want us to see, and all the controls of how it moves are on the other side of the unknown. Now, it might all sound like bollocks to you, but if you think about a multi-dimensional being as a rip or a tear in our reality that can poke through for a while, possibly seen by some people more than others, it explains a lot.
There's two kinds of projections. We think of projection in terms of our, let's say current understanding, a projection of something on a 2D movie screen, right? Now, you can have sort of a holographic projection, which is something which appears to be there and, and is in and of itself emanating or reflecting light. There's a projection of something potentially into your head that makes you think you see something. But, again, if you're talking about a technology that's, millions of years ahead of us, maybe it can project material objects. Jacques uses the term often, the phenomenon can take a hold of a volume of space and make irreality real. So for instance, let's talk about the so-called craft that people see. I mean, I would like to think that there's an object with a physics and a physics that can be understood from sitting here in our 3D, 4D world. But maybe, let's say, there's a multidimensional reality, and whatever it is that is driving these objects sits somewhere else. And it's basically something that it pokes into our reality, and it's moving it from elsewhere. It's made to look like it's moving here, but it has no functionality here. The functionality doesn't reside in our side of the veil. The functionality is elsewhere.
I just love thinking about things, and I know that you do too. I'm really interested on social media science actually promoting what you think to engage everybody to move this debate forward. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you've seen. Do you think that Dr. Garry Nolan and myself and Javelet and lots of other people might be onto something here? That we are actually living and trapped in our reality, and when we have a strange visitor that pops through temporarily, they're just waving hello to us without revealing what's actually controlling them from the other side of their dimensions. The truth is out there.